March 27th, MVP filed suit in federal court against 103 landowners in the counties where their proposed pipeline is to go through. This action claims the right of entry under the West Virginia eminent domain statute, and there are several attorneys who believe that they don't have that right yet because the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has not given them the right of eminent domain.
Pressed for time, Mountain Valley Pipeline is now offering these landowners cash settlements to purchase easements through their properties.
Mountain Valley Pipeline sent surveyors to study for a pipeline route in Monroe County. There was a couple who fought their right to be on their property and took it to court. And with Appalachian Mountain advocates as their attorneys.
At the county level, Brian and Doris McCurdy are having their day in court seeking to bar MVP access to survey. Judge Irons is about to rule on this critical issue, whether eminent domain may be invoked where the public use has not been established.
The West Virginia Supreme Court has said that pipeline companies organized for transporting gas must serve the people with gas along the entire line traverse. And because no West Virginians are going to have access to the gas coming out of the Mountain Valley Pipeline, they cannot meet the test for public use under West Virginia law. They are not vested with eminent domain, and therefore they cannot avail themselves of the West Virginia statute that purports to give survey access.
MVP is trying to make as many end runs around the state regulations as possible, hoping that, they get to the point where the federal regulation will trump the state eminent domain law. But right now they just are trying to run roughshod over people who are trying to approach this case with the powers of the state law, because we are not at a case of eminent domain law yet.
Is this pipeline regulated by the Public Service, the West Virginia Public Service Commission? It is not, Your Honor.
And repeatedly, the MVP lawyer has dismissed the notion of public use as if it doesn't matter, but the state law is very explicit on that. The judge gets that.
It's not public utility under West Virginia law.
It is not.
Because it's not supplying any gas in West Virginia.
Well, Your Honor, we can take issue with that. We fully expect it will supply gas in West Virginia.
I think if you have fewer than 25 customers, you're not considered a public utility.
Right at this point, I think MVP is not floating their boat here today.
I feel like it would not be in the public use as stated in the statute.
One property owner testified that it's all about privacy.
We are private people. I'm a private person. I feel that I have the right to the exclusive, quiet enjoyment of my property.
Sent by a certified mail, and it was dated February 24, 2015.
So they were threatening to sue you roughly 2 weeks after you got this letter, is that right?
That is correct.
How did you feel about a pipeline coming across your property?
I was shocked, not in favor of it.
Anywhere from $100,000 to $30 million. That's why I say it's very hard for you. Okay. What taps for LDCs have you committed to in West Virginia? Specifically, at this point, I am aware of none. None yet. Did a survey crew accidentally start a fire during one of your surveys? Yes. A surveyor flicked a unextinguished cigarette into the weeds, and then the surveyors left to go home, and then the fire started after that in a pile of brush. Surveying company made donations to local fire departments, and we apologize to the landowner.
The nature of the service is to take West Virginians' gas and transport it to markets that can be sold and used by the public.
If you build it, they will come. Well, that's not sufficient to establish a public use under West Virginia law. You have to show a fixed and definite right in the general public to use the gas. So basically, they have not met the requirements of the West Virginia law to establish that they have a public use of this pipeline along the entire line traverse.
But if we don't do the surveys, we're not going to know.
Like declaratory judgment that there's no, that Mountain Valley Pipeline is required to show public use before they can have the right to enter on lands for purposes of conducting surveys under 5413, and that they, at least in this hearing, have been unable to demonstrate such a public use.
Though it can be appealed, this ruling sets a precedent and validates West Virginia law, disallowing access where the public use is not established. For MVP, still short 10 environmental impact reports for their mid-October filing deadline with the FERC, this could be a setback.
It was a big day for us. Our individual rights are no longer to be tromped on.
Rather than appeal this court case, the natural gas industry asked the state legislature to bail them out by instigating Senate Bill 596, a bill that would change West Virginia state law to broadly allow gas company surveyors on private land without permission. The bill was defeated by a bipartisan majority of the state Senate in February of 2016, and Judge Irons' ruling stands.
A ruling this week by the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals affirmed an opinion of August 2015 by a Monroe County Circuit Court judge who found that Mountain Valley Pipeline had failed to demonstrate that their transmission pipeline served a public use in West Virginia.
The state of West Virginia can only delegate eminent domain or exercise eminent domain for the benefit of West Virginians. It cannot do so for the benefit of citizens of other states. The public use has to be for West Virginians.
Virginia law allows pipeline companies to survey private property without permission for a pipeline route. It's different from the West Virginia law in that it does not require a showing of public use. However, people opposed to the Virginia law believe it allows taking private property by a private company without compensation. The Virginia Supreme Court is going to consider whether the law is unconstitutional sometime in early 2017.
Monroe County has drawn a line in the sand, and that line is Peters Mountain that provides us with beautiful, clean, clear water that's won 7 world taste testings.
Once you mess up the water, no amount of dirty money will bring it back, and you can't drink gas.
Stand up for what you're gonna believe in. We're gonna shut that pipeline down. Here we go. Because if you don't like and you don't stand up, how's anybody gonna know where you stand?